Hello, my loves. I have so much to tell you. I am just back from the glow and the grind of wedding, honeymoon, launching our inner circle business accelerator. I'm back in the seat. First time back at the mic in a while. And I have so much to tell you about the psychological decathlon that is a wedding, about the energetic vortex of exchanging vows, about the highs and lows and the compression of your isness, like all the life lessons that just get amplified through planning and having a sacred event. So I'm going to talk about beauty and fashion and vows and the alchemizing effect of words and relationship dynamics and all those things in this episode. I'm just winging this. First off, I want to tell you about what's happening in the heart-centered universe. So we're in a new era where I'm only having the doors to the membership opened for signing up twice a year. And that's going to be happening for the month of June. And then the doors close and we go all extra sacred container. And I just focus on the community and the workshops, the life track and the business track. So this is what I want you to know. The Heart Center membership has opened its doors for new members. It's staying open until midnight on June 30th. So all of the details are at daniellelaporte.com/membership. I am officially kicking off the summer of love. It is the summer of relationship, intensification, intimacy with self, and therefore with others. I've been working on this content for many months. I have got film, I have workshops, I have audiobooks. I have some solutions. The membership has two arms. One is the life track, and that is body, mind, spirit support. And the other arm to hold you in all of your trials and expansions in life is the business track. If you want to test drive some of our teachings and my practical approaches, but in a metaphysical way, to business, then you go to daniellelaporte.com/bizwebinar. That's BIZWEBINAR, bizwebinar. And you're going to get a free download of a webinar that I just recently did called Woo Woo Business That Works. Because it works. A lot of people call it woo, but it's actually the leading edge of how to create and prosper. And then tomorrow, if you want to get in there, that's Thursday, June 13th. I'm doing a creative session within the Heart Center membership where I throw down on the trends that I'm seeing and soulful marketing and creating from a higher place. And then the summer of love has officially begun. I will see you in daniellelaporte.com/membership. All right, my loves, you want to come to my wedding? Come on into my wedding. Here's the thing with any big important event, whether it's a speaking gig or it's a wedding or it's a baby shower or it's a launch of a project, things are going to go wrong. And the people who bugged you before, the people who are going to bug you on your special day. And everybody is going to be who they are most of the time. So because it's so grand and expansive and important and special to you, doesn't mean that everybody else is going to be in that expanded state. So here's the beauty of it. If you can let go and let God, if you can let go and turn everything over to your girlfriends, if you can focus on what matters the most, which is in that moment, whether it's a business thing or it's a marriage vow, if you focus on what matters most, which is the love at hand, expressing your true self, creating community, being of service to the world, if you focus on the truth, on the love, then nothing else really matters. You know, the day of our wedding, about a dozen things went wrong that I really had to work through afterwards. Like some of them were just small things. And I'm like, just let it go. Now, what happened in the day is I was in this altered state. I was riding high on love. I was a conduit of love, full, overflowing, effulgent with divine love. It was so joyful. We were operating at the frequency of joy. So I actually didn't give a shit about the things that didn't work. I did have one moment where I was like, whoa, we need to shift things up. The scheduling is wrong. I haven't had an opportunity to say thank you to everybody. But that just turned out to be a little misunderstanding about scheduling and all of that. And the plan was actually going according to plan. And I got to say thank you and all of that. But other than that, it didn't even occur to me to tweak anything or to complain about anything or to ask about anything. And post-wedding, I realized that heightened state of heart-centeredness and of joy is really the state I want to be living in most of the time. That it was an amplified, exalted experience. And when you're in that state, you just don't give a shit about the details. My eyebrows didn't matter. The fact that, sometimes you're going to give a DJ all these incredible songs because you have such amazing taste in music and you've worked so hard to pull together about 100 songs. And they might decide to just fucking play the Backstreet Boys. And that's okay. You dance to it because you're in love. Everything that's happening happens for a reason. And some people are just so happy that it's all the Backstreet Boys. Focusing on love bends time. It regulates your nervous system, and it gets you in the creative flow. Okay, so there are lots of layers to this story. So I thought we would begin from the outside in and talk about my eyebrows because my eyebrows ended up being a portal to a stronger, clearer way of leading my business and my life. Let me tell you the story. There was a theme in all of the wedding planning that had to do with do-overs, asking for something but not being really articulate, not fully speaking my mind about what I wanted, and then having to go back and have it redone. And that's not what you want to have happen with your flower crown and your eyebrows or your bikini wax or your wedding rings, So here I am at this esthetician's place, and I'm going to get my eyebrows shaped, laminated, and dyed, which I have done before, and it was kind of cool. But you really want to push the boat out on beauty for the most important day of your life, one of them. If you don't know how this works, it's essentially perming your eyebrows, just like you used to get your hair permed, into the ideal shape. Now, I ain't no supermodel, but I know I got good eyebrows. They stick up in the right places. They have this nice high arch. They're thin where they need to be thin for my eyes, and they're wide and they're thick. How could you up my eyebrows? Well, it can be done. My girlfriend messaged me right after that because she was really curious about how it went down. Context, I'm getting my eyebrows done and a bikini wax from the same person. I message my girlfriend and I say, I haven't checked my muff yet, but I've got clown brows. And I never drove home so quickly in my life whilst at stoplights Googling how to deperm and undye your eyebrows. They were just like little kind of caterpillars that were really, really dark. And it was 4 days before my wedding. And what was I thinking? And luckily, the bikini wax situation turned out just fine. That could have been so sad right before my honeymoon. Did you know that if you mix lemon juice and baking soda, it will help get the dye out of pretty much anything? I had neither of those things, but I did have some lime essential oils, and I just was working it into those bad girls, and it didn't really help. It was a lesson in this. So much of what we think matters does not matter at all because everything worked out. Nobody noticed my eyebrows on my wedding day. Who really cares? They didn't fall out. Although I would say I will never get my eyebrows laminated / permed ever again because I think it has thinned them out. The hair becomes brittle. What I'm going to do to recondition my eyebrows now and forevermore is get back to applying just a little drop of castor oil on each brow and rubbing it in. That actually promotes hair growth, and I know it to be true. I was doing that on my eyelashes for a while, But I found that the castor oil was clogging my tear ducts, and I was getting a reaction to that. So no more on the eyelashes. For years, I did Latisse, which you can only get with a kind of a pseudo prescription from a Medi Spa. And then I saw too many videos where people's color of eyes change. And this is all part of the detoxification of my life. The portal for most women to detoxifying their life is through their whole entire beauty regime. So no more lash stuff, no more lamination stuff. Okay, so back to my muff. No, where were we? No, muff turned out great. This is what I learned. In my business, stay with me because I'm going to go way further afield to bring this lesson home. In my business, I am a benevolent queen. I am very clear about what I want. I really stand in the value of the wisdom of what I want. Like, I own my vision. I articulate it. I'm very specific in my requests. This is the typeface. This is the photo. This is the tone. This is what success will look like when we get there. And everything else is up to everybody else. Like, there is a point after I've articulated my vision with love, benevolence, and specificity where you just got to let go. You give it up to God and the team, and then you flex. And as a friend of mine, Dan Martell, who wrote Buy Back Your Business, says, something done 80% well by someone else is 100% great. So if I see something that's been done by somebody on my team or a vendor, and I'm like, well, I just would have tweaked it here, would have been a little lighter here, would have used this different word, but I'm not the one that had to do it, and it got done, and it's great. That's amazing. Nothing anymore has to be 100% perfect. But my description, my transmission, my expression of my vision and my desire for growth in the company does need to be articulated impeccably. I want to bring that excellence. Speaking of excellence, do you know that I record my podcast sitting in my living room? So you are going to be hearing the sounds of summer all summer long, which is the summer of love, which I'm going to tell you about. So I think there's an airplane going over. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I want to bring that degree of mental clarity, supported by love, inspired by my heart, to every area of my life. And this is where I've been falling short. And it showed up in directives, requests from a myriad of vendors that are required to pull off a good wedding, right? Hence the eyebrows. I just thought, she's a professional.